G'day guys, we're back with another one. This is going to be an install, another relatively small mod for the Cruiser from Cruiser Consoles. This rocked up a few days ago. So it's speaker pods for the doors. So we'll get into it straight away. Rightio, so it does come with a pretty detailed instruction manual, which we'll follow along with. But pretty much first off, we'll start with the passenger side. Take this screw out here. Pop this out, maybe both of these actually, and take the door card off. So we also need to pop the front of this up. So once we do this side, we'll probably be pretty efficient at this, but just got to take this, undo this harness here, wiring harness, just like that, which is obviously for the window switch. Chuck that in the bin, don't need that anymore. Right, so we've taken the two screws out, one each here. This should slide forward. That takes it out of its little mount off the door here. I'm going to jump into here and grab some duct tape out. I've just got this little spanner here, which is for changing discs on a grinder. I don't have a door trim remover to take the card off the door, but it's easy. I just need to lever it off, and so I'll use this to get in between the door card and the frame, but obviously I don't want to scratch the frame, so I'm just going to wrap a bit of duct tape around it and we should be right. So I guess I'll explain why I'm doing this. As you probably all know, the speakers are trash in these Cruisers, and I've talked about it before. Now I did actually, the speakers are in here, tiny 4-inch speakers that are useless. I've actually put some 6x9s behind the seats in speaker boxes that I mounted in speaker boxes. I've just obviously run the wiring from here, and it's just hanging here and it goes to the back. It's just been on that for the last few weeks until this stuff rocked up. Now, as I've said before, I love my music and podcasts and stuff on long drives. So it's pretty important to me. And these speakers weren't cutting the mustard. And look, I knew they weren't going to. So I think this is a pretty good way to do it. The speaker boxes behind the seats, it was such an easy install, and they're great speakers and they work well, and it's good sound, like I'm happy with it. But I think this is a better way to go. It's going to look very factory and it's going to be very neat. And obviously I wasn't going to keep this like this the whole time. I was going to run these wires probably, but I decided to, at least if I get them out from behind the seats, I have a bit of room behind there and whatnot. There's more room than you think behind them. And again, it's just, I don't like to go too crazy with stuff, so it's just nice to have it looking factory, and it's not very costly. The door products, speaker pods, whatever you want to call them, from Cruiser Consoles, it was about $300 for the lot, which is a lot of money, but it's not too bad, I reckon. And the speakers were $200 or $300, I think. So a fair bit of money, but not too bad, really. Yes, they should put a better system in it from factory. It's stupid, but anyway, here we are. Rightio, so we'll start trying to take this puppy off. I guess I should probably take this off. So I guess that's another thing to look at. They've been on there a while and the paint looks all good. They are magnetic, but you got these rubber bits. There is a bit of dirt and stuff in behind them, so that could eventually rub through, but they've been good. So obviously you got to be careful removing these door cards, because the little clips on the back, it's pretty easy to tear them away from the door card, which I've just done that to two. So that's not good, but I don't know what you do about that, eh? That's just my mistake. So, that's pretty hard. Those, I'll show you. Those little clips are easy to tear off. Like, there's one supposed to be there. I'll try and fix it somehow, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just not very good at it, but they tore off so much easier than I thought they would. Well, I knew it's going to be fragile, but I was trying to be very careful, and I was keeping the flat blade. I ended up going to a flat blade screwdriver, getting as close to these as possible. We're just going to undo these 5 screws to take the map pocket off. So that's that. Now, there's a few differences between year models on these cruisers. So I think it's after 23, because these now have a cup holder integrated with the mat pocket. Can't reuse this once we put these speaker pods in, so they supply you with a mat pocket. So this is what we're looking at. This is the new gear. 6x9s go straight in here. So this is the mat pocket they supply, so now we've got to fit that. They supply all the fitting stuff as well, screws and whatever. So that's basically going to sit there like that, and we'll screw that on from the back. Now obviously we don't want to over tighten these at all, so I'll just get them in there loose for now and then we'll nip them up. Yeah, rightio, so they're pretty firm. Not too tight, but that's pretty good, pretty factory, I reckon. They give you a bunch of these plastic pins that need to be inserted into the screw bosses. So we put them in there, and basically they want you to then give them a hit with a white paint marker. Once we've got them all in there and painted up, we then press this firmly onto the door card, and then when we take it off we'll be able to see the white dots on the door card. That's where we need to drill and place the screws. Alright, so now we'll coat the tips. So I'll just get some measurements because they want it to be single cab, 15mm from the front of the card and 11mm from the bottom. What I'll do is just make a couple of small marks. So 11mm from the bottom, it says 15 from the front, that's about where it needs to be. So we'll push down firmly like it says to transfer these white paint marks across to the door card, so we can then drill some holes. Alright, so we've got our white dots on the card. Okay, so while this is in place, sitting nice, we need to mark the speaker hole. So basically trace around the inside of that, and that's what's going to be cut out. Bit scary chopping into this and drilling holes and doing all this, but we'll get there, I'm sure. Alright, so here goes. Rightio, so the next cab off the rank is to drill the holes through the door card. So we need a 3.5mm bit, drill, and some skill. So yeah, once we do this one, we'll smash that other side, the driver's side. Scary stuff, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you. Rightio, folks, now we've got to cut this hole out with the jigsaw. Now, I didn't actually have a jigsaw, so I went down to Bunnings and got another one of my trusty Azito PXE brand power tools. They're pretty good, eh? It's just Azito, but 5-year warranty on replacement warranty on the tool, on the skin, and 3 years on the batteries, I reckon. And like it says here, I know it's just marketing, but German design quality from this Einhall brand, which is German, and I think they bought Azito. So, official tool expert for the AMG Petronas Formula 1 team. So let's get this puppy out. Hey, Flash. I honestly haven't really used one of these before, eh? I'll see if I can work it out, surely. I'm sure there's instructions, but let's just try and figure this out. Someone's going to be in the comments, mate, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, righto, so I got that bit right. That's to... Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm full of it. Yeah, that's around the right way, eh? Right, so that is correct. Is that about all we need to do? I don't even know. That must be it. What are these for? I think these just go straight in the bin, eh? Right, so I can change the speed here. That's 1. Or up it to 7. Much quicker. Now, I reckon I'm going to have to cut this at a higher speed. I don't know how high, but I don't know. We'll go 6 and we'll just see. Let's just see what happens. I don't know. Oh, Jesus. Oh, well, that seems to be working. So that's good. We'll try and go around with it, see what happens. Okay, well, bit of a success, I suppose. We'll probably make improvements on the driver's side, I'd say, but it's done. We have a hole, so let's move on to the next thing. So now, pretty much a qualified carpenter after that, so come see me for your carpentry needs, cabinet making, anything, got you covered. The next thing we want to do is fit the actual pod to the door card. So we'll grab ourselves some screws and we'll get to it, making sure not to over tighten them again. Alright, so we've got one screw in. So that's good, we've got it located. Try and bang another one in. Alright, that's good, we got one in each end, so we've basically got it located. Should be able to just go straight through and bang them all in. Rightio, so there we go. That's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Definitely yeah, I like that. Alright, excellent. So I just went through and gave a couple a bit of a nip up. And basically you want it so it's, sitting against the door card, pressed firmly, nice and neat, no gaps. That's how it should look. It just looks completely factory. So let's get on with the next step. What I'm gonna do now is I'll take this 6x9 speaker box out of here, and we pretty much need to mount, start wiring. So this is all I did here. It's just a basic speaker box. It's worked well. Nothing's rattled loose, and these JVCs go hard. So we'll get these sorted, get them out of here, and start mucking around with wires. Right. Now I'm probably going to cut this wire out of it because I think these two, I think I'm going to be using that to plumb in behind here. Right, so I've unclipped this and finally got it away from the door. So basically we can put it back together, but it needs to be rerouted because this is where the speaker's going to sit. So we'll have a look at that. Rightio, so I've just pulled the clips out that tore away from the back of the door card. I've just pulled them off the door, and it's actually all good because so like here's one. I ended up with 3 that tore out. I've put the other 2 in, but as you can see, that kind of sits in there, and then you just slide it across. So I think it'll be alright. think they'll be fine. So now we're gonna sit this up against the door where it needs to sit and basically see where the speaker is going to interfere with the door, and we might need to do some fabrication work with some of this steel in here. It's not too bad, I don't know why, and that you could probably just bend some of this steel out of the way pretty easily, and it's just so the back of the speaker clears. Sounds a bit rough, but we're gonna have a look at it anyway. What I'm about to show you next might shock you. Now look, seems pretty bloody wild to be honest, but I've actually got to cut out some of this inner door frame for the, you know, rear of this speaker to fit. Which it says in the instructions that you got to do this. Been on YouTube, this is the way it's done. But speakers vary, and even in the instructions it says for the single cabs that you may not have to cut. You could just bend some of the metal away with a hammer or vice grips. It seems like I have to remove not too much. I mean, maybe just a slight bit around here and around here too, but the problem is where the wires, I'll try and show you. So basically it's going to sit in there like that, but it interferes with that magnet. But where the wires hook up just there, clip on, like this speaker is going to sit in there a fair way, and there, those little terminals there are going to foul on here. So I feel like I'm going to have to cut, you know, like a little chunk out of here. Like I'm sure it's fine. It'll, you know, it is what it is. I've done stuff like this before, and you know, it's just a bit of modifying, but kind of at the same time it seems a bit rough to chop into the door. But oh well, here goes, we're gonna do it. And also, all I have to do this is a grinder, but that's just the way it is. That's what I've got. So I've already bought a jigsaw for this job. I don't want to have to go and buy more stuff. Probably not ideal, but we're gonna give it a crack anyway. Now make it shorter and just easy to work with. Get rid of this excess stuff. So basically what I'm going to do is I've just taken this out of the speaker box, and I'm just going to basically solder or connect it to these wires, and then I can just run this through the door and straight into the speaker. Right, so we can strip the wires now. Definitely a bit of mucking around with doing an install like this. But we're getting there. So strip these, and we'll join this to the wires down here. Slowly getting there. Definitely getting there. So I've just ran the wiring through, and I've connected the wiring, and I've just placed the speaker up to the pod and drilled the holes. So now we can actually install the speaker. Something like that is how it's going to sit. Chuck this on. Just like so. Well, I'm going to keep screwing that in. I just did a bit of a sound check and it's all working, so that's very good. I'm probably going to leave it at that. It's not that much of a detailed video, but I just thought I'd do a bit of a, you know, show some of it at least and whatnot. Some of it was pretty frustrating, and you do have to, like I said, I did cut a bit of the steel in the door and just folded it back. Not much, and I did do a bit of panel beating with the ball peen hammer just to move a bit of the steel out of the road, but it's all good. It's fit in there. I mean, it's, yeah, like I said, I'll finish screwing it out and it'll be all good to go. So now that I've done this side and I sort of know what's going on, that side will be a hell of a lot easier. But yeah, no worries folks, bloody take it easy.